What is up, everybody? Meriden Gaming here, and we're back for another World of Tanks Tech Tree Tank Showcase and Review. Today we're taking a look at the Tier 8 German heavy tank, the Tiger II. As you can see here, it's got a very similar hull design to a lot of the other ones that we've featured previously. This very angular front, which can actually bounce a few shells depending on what angle you're at, because you do have 8 degrees of gun depression, so you can make some really good angles where as long as you don't show your lower plate, they can bounce or absorb on your upper plate. The one downside to this tank is the fact that this front plate, if we look at it from above, is fairly flat. Now your gun takes up a lot of it, so and heavy tanks more than super close range, will have trouble hitting that a lot of the time. They'll hit these other angles that are more ricochet angles. But then you also have a cupola you have to worry about a little bit. It's not really that big, but it is still a weak point we have to mention. We'll go ahead and go to the live view to kind of give you an idea of what the angles look like. Now this is against a Renegade. That's a pretty standard tank that you see in almost every battle at Tier 8. As you can see, they don't have a perfect chance to go through, but some of those Tier 9s and Tier 10s, they'll go through this front plate all day long. This will still be quite a bit for them to get through. But yeah, this, and then of course your hull, like I said, you can use your gun depression. It makes it a little bit more difficult. But anyway, let's get over to the comparison. They're going to be comparing to the other tanks I see very often on the North American server. We have the IS-3, the AMX-65T, the 53TP, and the Caravan. Now these are the other standard single shot ones that I see the most. I guess you could go ahead and throw in the VK100P, but it's more of a super heavy than a standard tank like the rest of these are. So yeah, DPM, actually one of the best here, other than the Caravan. But of course, the Caravan's a little bit of a unique beast here. It's got a really fast fire rate, decent pin, but it doesn't do a lot of damage per shot. So it's kind of stands off by itself, honestly. But as far as penetration goes, right up there, as good, if not better than everyone else. They're all about the same, honestly. That really doesn't matter too much. Then we have our damage at 360, which is a little bit lower than a lot of them, but if you notice, you actually reload faster. You actually have a chance to get 2 rounds off for every 1 round they get off. So if you time your shots right, you can definitely trade with these guys doing, a total of 720 damage to their only 390, 400, or 420. But you have to know the reload times of the enemy tanks. So you gotta bait the shot well and be ready to fire immediately. Fire a second time as you're backing up. Now that second shot may not hit, but there's a chance it could. And then we get down to our caliber, 105. It is a little bit lower than everything but the Caravan. So yeah, you can only go through, I want to say it's like 34 millimeters armor where you overmatch it, which is the 3 times rule. Shell velocity of 1,100. The gold rounds have, I want to say it's like 1375, and then the penetration is up. But let's just go look at it real quick. So the gold rounds, total penetration of 285, which is pretty good for a Tier 8 tank. This is considered one of the top Tier 8 Tech Tree Heavy, actually it is considered the top Tier 8 Tech Tree Heavy tank, just for its overall well-roundedness compared to a lot of the other tanks. But yeah, like I said, 1375 for your shell velocity. Ammo capacity, it feels a little low. I have run out of standard rounds several times when I played this a little bit. So you do have to take that into account. I actually load quite a bit of gold, or I have 2 setups for it where I would load a bunch of gold in one for when we're facing those tier 9s and 10s, just because you're going to need that extra penetration. Then we get down to our aim time. Now the aim time it's better than a lot of these other ones, but it's still not great for the rest of the stats for the gun handling. This thing actually has a fairly accurate gun to shoot at medium and long range, but the aim time means you have to sit out there a little bit longer than I would really prefer to. I always like having 2 seconds or less aim time. Version of 0.30, better than everything else. We can get this down to, I think, 0.27 if we use a improved aiming equipment. So definitely, and it has the ability to snipe just like those medium tanks. So you can definitely use this for sniping towards the end of the battle when you're trying to finish off those mediums and those TPs for sure. Or get those shots in as the enemy heavy tanks are trying to move in. So, a couple options there. Gun depression of 8 degrees, really good, but honestly, it's about the same as everything but the Caravan. Of course, the Russian tanks don't have very much gun depression at all. But the gun elevation I found to be a slight problem in a few situations, like when you're on mines or something and there's people above you, you have to rock your tank back and stop to get your gun to arc up, but of course that also messes with your accuracy. So one thing to take into account with this. Speed of 38, pretty good, but because of the weight of this thing is 70,000, almost 71,000 pounds. I think that's what they calculate this in. So the power to weight ratio is not great at all. Therefore, its actual speed over the different types of terrain here is actually worse than pretty much everything, at least Ford, other than the Caravan, because it also does not have a great power to weight ratio compared to the other ones. So yeah, they will get into position first if it's just a straight drive across the center of the map on hard terrain. Now you do have a bit of a better chance on the medium terrain and the soft terrain um, than a couple of the other ones, but yeah, definitely not. You might want to put a turbo on this in order to get into speed faster or into position faster. All right, then we get down to our armor. Like I said, the armor on the whole, not great. It's better than everything else here, but still, basically all tier 8s, quite a few of the tier 7s will be able to go through your hull, and maybe even some of the tier 6s. So you definitely have to hide that lower hull. And then your turret, of course, in the front, very good compared to everything else here, right on par with everything. Of course, you can't compete with those super heavies, but otherwise, really good turret. Then we get down to our health, 1600, as good as everything else, if not better. So you can definitely take a few shots here. And then finally, we have our view range of 390, which we can buff this up a little bit and have max view range for spotting those pesky TDs and mediums when they fire at you. So it kind of depends on how you want to play. Now, a lot of people will try to boost the gun stats of this tank. So a good option, of course, is always your vents, your gun rammer to make sure you reload faster, and then it kind of depends on your style of play. You can go with the improved aiming so that if you're sitting still, it's going to give you a slightly smaller circle so you get a better chance of hitting stuff at longer ranges. Or you can go with the vertical stabilizers if you're someone that moves around a lot and tries to shoot. Or I think the option I actually went with was that there, and then I took the vert stabs as well. So this is another option to kind of improve your gun stats overall. You do lose a little bit in some of the other stats, like the reload time a little bit because you don't have the vents, but this is a good setup as well. So it kind of depends on your style of play. And as far as your skills go, of course, the first thing you're going to get is going to be your smooth ride, your snapshot, and your intuition, which is not here in this list. Now that we have a Sixth Sense default, that kind of throws me off a little bit because I always said Sixth Sense, Smooth Right, Snapshot, Intuition. But now, I mean, honestly, with a lot of these heavy tanks, you're really going to have repairs too because your tracks get shot out a lot. So that's always a good option. And then I can't remember what the Jack of all trades is also a good option for if your other guys are out, your commander can take over. And of course, because of him being also the radio operator, you can go with situational awareness because this actually gives you more boost than the recon does. So if you're going to go for one or the other, always go for situational awareness first. But yeah, other than that, brothers in arms. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at what the equipment does. So our dispersion is down to 0.28. I believe it's 0.27 if we have the vents rather than the vertical stabilizers. But as you can see here, the vertical stabilizers helps with these stats right here, which improves you to everything but the IS-3 with the turret traverse. So it's kind of your prerogative on which way you want to go with it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get over to that Ace Tanker gameplay and see how Chemical Warfare does in their Tiger 2. Alright, we are on Safe Haven. See, where are they going to go first? Looks like they're going straight for the standard heavy location. Now, I haven't watched this. I do know it's an Ace Tanker, but beyond that, I didn't. I try not to look at the stats beforehand. Kind of a live reaction. Oh, we got a E29 here. Looks like, yeah, he is top tier Just tier 8s and tier 7s, no tier 6s. That's an interesting choice to try to rush here. He is using food, so this thing is probably pretty maxed out. Took a random shot there. Try to hit that M2, but of course did not hit well. Bat got hit. But look at that. Yeah, see, still bouncing shots. We're trying to get them. The reason he went straight at them first was because, of course, his side armor is not great. So he was trying to bait those shots so it was safe for him to come up this ramp. If you angle yourself just slightly, they can ricochet off your side and off your front plate. Interesting choice here to go up top to try to counter the medium location, it looks like. He's got to be careful here because the guys in the tunnel can spot him and the mediums can try to farm him. But he is taking a good location here. This is a really good location to try to stay out of view of the mediums until they get to that little bridge in the center you can see there. The kind of railroad style bridge. Oh, he's going to hit that light again. Very nicely done. Already blocked 1,000 damage. Really good. Oh, there's a medium. Nice shot there. Caught him by surprise. Got lucky and the medium just tried to snap shoot him and only hit his tracks. So no damage still. That's really good. Oh, the Immel went up top. Which is actually, I mean, it's an okay play. The problem is they get there so late. That's not necessarily the best play for the Immel. But I can see why he would want to play there because of the hills up there. He has, a distinct advantage against those mediums. The problem is that G-Sor is now spotting him. So he's got to play very careful here. Loading an HE round. Oh, to blow out the doors in one shot. Interesting. Gonna try to finish off. Very nicely done. Help his ally on that left side, that Saint Immel. Immel, I guess. The light. Didn't take time to aim, just tried to snap shoot him. Not a very good move on the part of the light, though. He should have stayed around that corner and just kind of kept him lit, rather than trying to shoot him, because the light was already, fairly damaged. And what are you going to do against a full health heavy? Yeah, I consider that quite a bit of an error on the light's part. It looks like he is content with staying right here, at least until they clear out the rest of the mediums. The Immel. Oh, nope, now he's moving. Oh, nice little quick snapshot on that P43 there. And now he's going to try to angle probably against this IS. You gotta be careful though, because they'll be shooting. Oh, nope, he's going for the M2Y. Nice little shot into the side. Surprise! Alright, let's see how he does here. Oh, there's another shot right into the upper hull. Now the M2 is finally moved behind cover, thankfully. Well, not thankfully for our friend here, but for the M2. But it is quite a bit of a tall tank, so it can be shot when it tries to come out around that corner. But the G-Sor here, he's checking both sides to make sure he doesn't get shot in the back when he tries to shoot G-Sor. Nice quick shot, good. Oh, and got lucky. Bounced off the top plate there. Gonna eat a shell or two here. SU doing a front flip, not landing it though. I give that a 2 out of 10, I think. Alright, now he's trying to deal with... Ooh, nice. Right in there. Getting lucky and bouncing some shots. I'd be interested to see where they're actually... Trying to see if I can see. Where are they hitting? I guess the front plate maybe? Kinda hard to tell. Nice shot there. Finished off both the M2 and the IS rather quickly there. Now going to try to come in behind on this VK, it looks like. Is a great thing to do against these VKs. These VKs are very difficult to deal with from the front, so flanking them is always a great option. His fellow Tiger 2 here trying to push the VK back and hold him in place. Another shot. Oh, left him on 56, 66. Going for the ram, and nice kill. Okay, now the Emil has come down out of the hills to die. Is exactly what happened there. All right, so now it's just down to the. I apparently. Oh, I've got the names. That's the problem. Hold on. Click on this so we can see the actual tanks. So we got a Super Hellcat left and 2 artillery against a Tiger 2 and 2 artillery. This is going to be an interesting end. I believe the Super Hellcat shot at him once, so he kind of knows where it was at least last seen. Oh, there's something. Crusader. Yeah, pull forward, aim, fire, boom, nice. Oh, HE round there. I'll try to finish off the Crusader, I assume. There's one of the artillery gonna finish him? Nope. Oh, went right over the top of the hull there. The Crusader is kind of slow, so you should be able to finish them off. There you go. Nicely done. 9 kills already. 5690 damage and 2700 blocked. Wow, this is a game for the ages. This is a really good example of how to play this. Letting them know he's spotted. Oh, there is. Oh, it's behind those. Ooh. Right. Looks like he's got a repair team because that track repair was a lot faster than what normally happens. There's the Super Hellcat trying to get behind cover. Okay, he does. And shoots SU. One shot, one kill. Alright, 10 kills already. Wow. 6,000 damage. Oh, now here comes the Super Hellcat. I guess Super Hellcat didn't expect him to be aiming at him? He could have taken a position behind some of those bushes up top to try to go at him. Yeah, I was thinking that was destructible, but he's getting lucky and not taking damage from these shots. Absorbing it. Sure. Yep. And that's going to be it. Wow, 11 kills. Let's go ahead and pause that and get over to the end game stats real quick. Alright. Let's see, what do we got? We got a Ace, Tanker, Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for Effect, Shell Proof. A Pascucci's Medal for killing 2 SPGs, and a Pulse Medal for killing 10 or more enemy tanks. Wow, that is a nice medal to get. That is very difficult to get at these higher tiers for sure. Top Gun, Steel Wall, and High Caliber. This is like all the medals except for the one for the 5 vs 1 that you can get that is desirable. So yeah, really great job here. Yeah, 6,800 damage, 11 kills, almost 3,000 blocked. Wow, what a game. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. If there's a specific tank you wish to see next, just leave that in the comments of the most current Tech Tree tank video. Yes. And I will get to it. I record about 3 of these at a time, so it will be up to 2 more past the current one, or it could be the next one. You never know. But anyway, this is Murder Gaming, and I'll see you on the battlefield.